Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, hello there. I'm DJ, and this is going to be a Diablo 3 1.0.4 system preview breakdown. Alright, and I have waited so long for this. So long, as I'm sure everyone has. But anyways, so it's still not going to hit for a couple weeks or a few weeks or whatever, I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to try to break it down real quick. All the cool, important stuff that at least I care about. Maybe there's probably going to be other stuff that I'm going to skip. But anyways, so first thing, co-op. They're going to make it a lot more friendly for people to play co-op. Because right now we all know that aside from a few, like taking advantage of a few different things, it's kind of pointless to play, or there's no benefits rather to play it co-op. But they're going to make it so that there's going to be the same rewarding playing co-op as there is playing single player, which is going to be awesome. And I don't know, I'm pumped about that because I thought looking at this game before it was out, like, yeah, I'm going to play this game with all my friends, which I did. I played it with all my friends and it was awesome. But we probably would have benefited better, I guess. I don't really know. But either way, they're going to make it friendly for co-op. They're going to take away that magic find rounding, so now every player in the game is going to actually have their magic find. They're going to remove the averaging. So yeah, say you're going into a game with your friends and you have 250 magic find and they have 45 magic find. Well, you're still going to have 250 magic find. Your drops are still going to be good, and theirs are going to be for whatever they would get with 45 magic find. And it goes both ways though, so if they have more than you, yeah. The next big thing they announced for this update is they're going to be exactly what it says here, shrinking the gap on monsters difficulty, difficulty. So basically they're going to raise the HP on white monster, like no name, whatever, regular white named monsters, by a little bit, 5 to 10%, but then they're going to lower the amount of HP that champions, rare, elites, all those cool guys have by 10 to 25%. I love that change. I think it's great. It'll hopefully make fighting in Inferno a little bit more of I don't know how to explain it, but one motion instead of just like sailing through white and then just having like an actual Duke Fest on your hands when you come across a champion pack. The next thing they announced is Weapon Master. I love the sounds of this. Right now, as we all know, you'll go in, you'll farm a bunch of champions, whatever, any act really too. You'll get a bunch of eye level 63 stuff, eye level 62. It'll be garbage. Also, you'll know if you get an eye level 61 or 62 item, if it's a weapon, throw that shit out because you already know that it's completely trash. Well, no. After this, they're going to raise it so item level 61 and 62's damage cap can be at the top end level of item level 63. So basically what that means is you can get item level 61 and 62s after this update, and they will potentially be able to have the same damage as an item level 63, which is amazing because up to this point we always would pick up item level 6. It would be very rare, if even possible at all, to find an item level 61, 62 that was worth even picking up. That was a weapon. For gear, it's another story, but as far as weapons go, with the way damage worked, it was almost always just trash. But now that should be a lot more rare, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, that's a huge update that I really love. I think that one's going to be great. They said they're going to address the rest of the items, like as far as gear, just armor and stuff like that at a later date. But for now, the weapons change. That's fine with me. I really like it. Efficiency versus challenge. Okay, so this basically just means they're going to be removing rage timers. You can take all day to kill champion packs now if you want. It might not be efficient, but at the same time, if you want to do it, if that's how you have fun playing the game, you'll be able to do it. I think it's a great change because sometimes rage timers would just, I don't know. But they're not going to have rage timers anymore, and they're not ever going to fill their life back up. So you could seriously take 2 hours to kill a champ pack now if you want, and you don't have to worry about them getting their life back to full because what it says here sounds like the mobs will never heal now, so that's a nice little change there. Improvements coming to legendaries. They didn't really get into this that much. They said they're going to have a specific blog on that later, so I won't get into it either because I can't, because I don't know. Stay classy. Yeah, they're going to announce a bunch of stuff. They're going to have class-specific blogs going up. I'll cover them each individually, but that is going to be for each class. So they're going to have a post like this for each specific class on what changes they're going to be doing. And basically here it sounds awesome. It sounds like they're going to take more of a buffing stance on the game now as opposed to a nerfing stance. So they're going to start buffing stuff that's too underpowered or whatever, and instead of what they've been doing up to this point, which is just nerfing the hell out of everything, which is great. So that's about it for here. I'll put the link in the description because you're definitely going to want to read this on your own. One of my things is I find it funny that they just announced this the day after they announced they got hacked. Maybe that's just in my brain thinking like, ooh, conspiracy. But I think they're trying to take some attention off that, which, whatever. I think it's all fine. I'm really pumped they're finally putting out info because they've been quiet for too long. And yeah, so other than that, I'll put the link in the description. Read this over for yourself because there's a lot of awesome info in here. And I didn't go over every single thing. I just went over the stuff that I think is the cream of the crop, the awesome changes that are going to happen. And, oh, the final thing they announced they're going to be doing is, P.S. We're getting rid of invulnerable minion monster affix. That's awesome because those guys were just annoying. I would say Act 3 and on, they were like just stupid to fight sometimes. So anyways, that's all for this. Thanks a ton for watching. I've been DJing. This has been a preview of the next update in Diablo 3. Bye.